Virgo, the photocopier on the third floor, has been making a noise like a dying robot since Tuesday. It is Thursday now, and the sound has graduated from a whine to a growl, and everyone in the open plan office has developed a strategy for avoiding it. Some send their documents to the printer on the fifth floor. Others email everything and pretend the digital revolution has made paper obsolete. But you, Virgo, do not avoid broken things. You approach them, you diagnose them. You roll up the sleeve of your blouse or your shirt. You kneel on the industrial carpet that has seen 10,000 anxious footsteps, and you open the paper tray with the confidence of a surgeon entering a chest cavity. Toner dust smudges your knuckle. The machine beeps a code that means nothing to anyone but you, because you are the only one who read the manual. And in that moment, the moment when your attention is entirely occupied by the geometry of a jammed sheet of a 4, when your hair has fallen forward and you have not bothered to push it back, when you are muttering something under your breath about corporate budgets and planned obsolescence, you feel it. The stare, not the glance, not the look, the stare. It is a physical weight. It lands between your shoulder blades like a palm that has not yet made contact but absolutely intends to. It travels down the curve of your spine with a patience that makes your breath catch in your throat for exactly half a second before your rational mind kicks the door shut and says, "Don't be dramatic. It's just the office. People look at things." But it is not just the office, and they are not looking at things. They are looking at you. And here is what has changed, what has shifted in the atmosphere so subtly that the fluorescent lights have not flickered, but the frequency underneath them has. They are not hiding it anymore. They used to hide it. They used to be a master of the almost not there. The look that lasted a quarter second too long but could still be explained as curiosity. The laugh that leaned a centimeter closer to your ear than the joke required. The accidental brush of fingers when handing over a pen, a coffee, a report. All of it existed in the realm of maybe. The realm of, did that happen? The realm where you questioned your own perception because questioning theirs felt too dangerous, too exposing, too much like admitting that you had noticed them noticing you. That realm is gone, burned down, paved over. They want you bad. And they are getting bold. Let me tell you what bold looks like in the wild, because you might be so busy being competent that you are missing the forest fire for the spreadsheets. Bold looks like the text that arrives at 11:47 p.m. with a question that does not need an answer. Did you ever figure out what was wrong with the copier? It is not about the copier. It is not about the toner. It is about the fact that they are lying in their bed, in their dark room, with their phone held above their face like a talisman, and they have spent 45 minutes typing and deleting until their thumb cramped. They have rehearsed the casual tone. They have practiced the nonchalance. But the timestamp betrays them. Nobody cares about office equipment at 11:47 p.m. unless the office equipment is a proxy for the person they cannot stop thinking about undressing. And you know this. You are not naive. You are Virgo. Your mind processes data faster than most people process hunger. You saw the text and you felt the heat rise to your cheeks, and you told yourself it was the radiator, it was the wine, it was the late hour playing tricks on your interpretation. But your body knew. Your body always knows. Your body is the original intelligence that your mind spends most of its life trying to override with logic. Bold looks like the way they stood too close to you in the elevator this morning. Not the polite distance of strangers, not the comfortable gap of colleagues. They stood close enough that you could smell their soap, their skin, the particular chemistry of their neck where it meets the jawline. Close enough that when the elevator stopped abruptly between floors and you stumbled, their hand did not go to your arm or your elbow. Their hand went to your waist, and it stayed there for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, long enough for the elevator to resume its descent, long enough for you to realize that they were not steadying you, they were claiming the space. They were mapping the territory of your body with a palm that remembered the exact temperature of your skin through the fabric of your shirt. And when the doors opened, they did not apologize. They did not offer the usual embarrassed laugh that people use to disinfect intimacy. They looked at you directly with a gaze that said, I know you felt that, I know you know, and I am done pretending I don't. That is the boldness. That is the shift. That is the moment when the person who has been orbiting you like a polite satellite decides to enter the atmosphere. They are burning up on re-entry, Virgo. They are shedding the cool, the calm, the collected exterior that they have worn like armor around you. And what is underneath is not patient. What is underneath is not polite. What is underneath is a hunger that has been fasting for so long that it has forgotten the taste of restraint. You need to understand the mechanics of this, because if you do not understand what is happening inside them, you will misread the signals and either run for cover or freeze them out with the efficiency you usually reserve for expired milk. This is not a crush. A crush is light. A crush is butterflies and daydreams and the occasional sigh. This is an occupation. They have been occupied by the idea of you. Their thoughts have been colonized. Their sleep has been disrupted by dreams that leave them restless and confused and reaching for the cold side of the pillow. They have tried to evict you. They have tried to distract themselves with work, with exercise, with other people, with the sheer volume of their own denial. None of it worked because you, Virgo, are not a distraction. You are a destination. And destinations do not stop calling just because the traveler is tired. They get louder, they put up signs, they pave roads. And if the traveler still does not move, the destination starts moving toward them. That is what is happening now. The destination is walking. The destination is knocking. The destination is showing up at their door at odd hours with no excuse and no exit strategy. Let me paint you the picture of their internal landscape, because it is a mess and it is beautiful and it is entirely your fault. They wake up now with your name already in their mouth, not spoken, just present, like a flavor, like a word they read in a dream and cannot quite define but cannot stop tasting. They check their phone before they brush their teeth, not because they are expecting a message from you, though, God, they are, but because seeing your name in the group chat or your photo on a mutual contact's story, or even just the timestamp that reminds them that you are already awake and probably already organized and probably already perfect, is enough to alter their heartbeat. Their coffee tastes like you. Their shower feels like you are watching them through the steam. They have developed a Pavlovian response to the notification sound on their phone that is embarrassing and undeniable and completely outside their control. And the worst part, the part that is driving them slowly, gloriously insane, is that they do not know what to do with it. They are not a teenager. They are not inexperienced. They have loved before, or at least they have performed the rituals of love with people who were available and appropriate and legible, but you are not available in the way they are used to. You are not appropriate in any dictionary they own. You are legible only to yourself, and that illegibility is the drug. They cannot read you, they cannot predict you. They cannot file you under any category that would make you manageable. You are too precise to be casual, too warm to be cold, too self-contained to be pursued in the usual way. So, the usual way has been abandoned. They are improvising now. And improvisation for someone who has spent their life following the map is indistinguishable from madness. Watch them in meetings. Watch the way their knee bounces under the table when you speak. Watch the way their pen stops moving when your voice enters the room. They are supposed to be taking notes on quarterly projections, but they are sketching the shape of your collarbone in the margin of their legal pad. They are supposed to be disagreeing with the marketing strategy, but they are watching the way your mouth forms the word revenue, and they are losing the thread of the argument entirely. They have been caught twice now staring at your lips while you were talking. The first time, they blamed it on a headache. The second time, they did not bother. They just held your gaze for a beat longer than necessary and let the silence do the talking. And the silence is getting loud. The silence is saying everything they are too terrified to say out loud. It is saying, I have memorized the way you push your glasses up your nose. It is saying, I know you take your coffee with exactly 1 inch of oat milk. It is saying, I have imagined the sound of your breath against my neck so many times that I am no longer sure if it is a fantasy or a memory from a life I have not lived yet. The silence is a confession without words. And they are getting so bold that the silence is about to break into sound. Here is what you can expect next, because the trajectory is clear and the velocity is increasing. They are going to say something inappropriate, not cruel, not harassing, but inappropriate in the delicious, devastating way that changes the temperature of a room. It might happen at the holiday party, where the alcohol has lowered their inhibitions just enough for the truth to slip through the bars. They will find you near the coat check or by the window where you have retreated to get some air, and they will say something like, "You look unfair tonight," or "Do you have any idea what you do to people?" Or simply, "I can't do this anymore." And the this will not refer to the party. The this will refer to the performance, the pretending, the endless, exhausting charade of not wanting you in front of all these witnesses. Or it might happen on a Tuesday in broad daylight with no alcohol and no occasion. They might simply walk into your office, close the door with a click that sounds like a gunshot in the quiet, and say your name, just your name, with a weight that makes the syllables feel like a brand. And then they will tell you. Not in a flood, not in a speech, but in a sentence that has been sharpened by months of longing until it can cut glass. I think about you constantly. Or, I need you to know that this is not casual for me. Or, if I don't say this, I am going to lose my mind. And when they say it, you will feel 2 things simultaneously. The first is a heat that starts in your stomach and radiates outward until your fingertips buzz with it. The second is a strange, calm satisfaction. The satisfaction of finally being told what you already knew. The satisfaction of the lock clicking open after you have been holding the key in your hand for months, waiting to see if they would find the door. But, Virgo, I need to warn you about your own reflexes here, because your reflexes are lethal. Your first instinct when someone is bold with you is to assess, to measure, to pull out the internal calipers and check the dimensions of their confession against your standards. You want to know, is this real? Is this sustainable? Is this a moment of madness or a moment of truth? You want to interrogate the data. You want to know their history, their patterns, their credit score, their emotional availability rating. You want to file their desire under a category before you agree to feel anything back. And if you do that, if you meet their boldness with your clipboard, you will kill it. Not because their desire is fragile, but because the desire at this stage is a living thing that needs air more than it needs analysis. They are not offering you a business proposal. They are offering you a pulse. They are standing in front of you with their chest open and their heart beating so hard you can probably see it through their shirt. And what they need is not your evaluation. What they need is your reception. Receiving is not your native language. You are fluent in giving, in organizing, in improving, in showing up with the right thing at the right time. But receiving raw, unfiltered, unearned desire directed at you like a spotlight makes you want to adjust the dial. You want to dim it. You want to say, "Are you sure?" You want to list your flaws like a disclaimer at the end of a pharmaceutical ad. Side effects of loving me may include overthinking, perfectionism, occasional emotional unavailability, and the need to alphabetize the spice rack. Do not do it. Do not read the disclaimer. Do not deflect. Do not turn their boldness into a debate. Let me tell you why they are getting bold. Because the reason matters. It is not just that they want you. Wanting is common. Wanting is cheap. People want things all day long and do nothing about it. They want promotions and they do not ask. They want abs and they do not do the crunches. They want to travel and they stay home. Wanting is the idle background noise of the human condition. But this person is acting. They are translating want into behavior. They are crossing lines they drew in permanent marker. They are risking embarrassment, rejection, professional complication, social awkwardness, all of it, because the alternative is no longer bearable. The alternative is another day of not knowing, another week of swallowing the words, another month of watching you exist in the world like a question they were too afraid to answer. That is not want, that is need. And need, when it is this loud, this insistent, this willing to make a fool of itself, is actually a form of courage. It is the courage to be rejected rather than to remain invisible. It is the courage to be seen wanting rather than to die with the desire unspoken. And courage, especially the messy, desperate human kind, deserves your respect even more than your scrutiny. You are going to notice other things too. As the boldness escalates, they are going to start marking territory in ways that would be subtle to anyone but you. They will remember things you said 6 months ago about a band you liked, and suddenly that band is in their playlist, and suddenly they are quoting lyrics at you in the break room. They will bring you coffee exactly the way you like it, not because you asked, but because they paid attention. They will position themselves in your orbit at every social gathering, not hovering, not crowding, but present, always present, like a moon that has decided its only purpose is to reflect your light back to you. And the jealousy, the jealousy. It will be quiet, it will be controlled. They are too proud to make a scene, but you will see it in the set of their jaw when someone else makes you laugh too hard. You will see it in the way their eyes track the hand that touches your shoulder in greeting. You will see it in the sudden, intense interest they develop in your dating life, asked with a casualness so studied it is practically a thesis. So, are you seeing anyone? Delivered over a lunch that they engineered by coincidence. Anyone special in your life? Asked while they are stirring a drink they have not touched because their mouth is too dry. They want to know if they are too late. They want to know if there is a wall they cannot see. They want to know if your heart is a city with open gates or a fortress under siege. And every time you answer with ambiguity, I'm focusing on myself right now. I'm not really looking. I'm complicated. They feel a surge of hope so potent, it is almost painful. Because ambiguity is not a no. Ambiguity is a hallway, and they are already walking down it. But here is the part that will undo you if you let it. They are not just attracted to your surface. They are not just chasing the package. They have seen the way you handle crisis. They have seen the way you show up when nobody else does. They have seen you at your most Virgo, exhausted, overextended, quietly holding the world together with your bare hands, and instead of being intimidated by your competence, they have been devastated by it. Devastated because your competence is not a wall, it is a window. And through that window, they have seen the softness you try to hide, the tenderness you administer to others but rarely claim for yourself, the way you check on people who do not check on you, the way you remember birthdays and allergies and the exact sentence someone said 3 years ago that revealed their fear. They have seen all of it. And they want not just to be near it, they want to be inside it. They want to be the person who finally checks on you, who finally brings you the coffee, who finally says, I see how much you do for everyone. Who is doing it for you? That question is the arrow. That question is what split their resolve. Because when they imagined you answering it, when they imagined being the answer to it, they felt a purpose so sharp it cut through every reservation they had. So they are getting bold. They are getting bold because they have to. Because the version of themselves that played it cool has been fired. Because the part of them that was willing to admire you from a safe distance has been overruled by the part that is willing to risk everything for the chance to stand closer. They are sending the risky text. They are extending the coffee invitation. They are finding reasons to be where you are, to touch what you touch, to breathe the air you have just left. They are studying your schedule like it is scripture. They are learning your routes, your habits, your favorite places, not to stalk you, but to increase the probability of collision. They want to collide with you. They want the impact. They want the explosion. They want the mess. And Virgo, you want it too. You can tell yourself you do not. You can tell yourself you are too busy, too focused, too above the fray of messy human desire. But your body is a traitor to that narrative. Your body has already adjusted to their presence. You stand differently when they are in the room. You speak more carefully or more recklessly, depending on the day. You have caught yourself choosing your outfit with them in mind. You have caught yourself replaying a conversation not because it was important, but because the sound of their voice saying your name has become a frequency you need to hear again. You have already, in 1,000 invisible ways, said yes. You just have not said it out loud yet. That is your work now. Not to decide if they are worthy, your standards have already decided that, or they would not have gotten this far. Not to decide if the timing is right, timing is always wrong until someone makes it right. Your work is to decide if you are willing to be wanted this much. If you are willing to be the object of a desire so intense that it has stripped away a person's social conditioning and left them raw and reaching and real, because being wanted this much is not comfortable, it is hot. It is bright. It exposes every part of you that still believes you are not enough, not ready, not deserving. It forces you to stand in the spotlight of someone else's obsession and say, yes, I am here. I am the thing you want, and I am willing to be had. That is the terrifying part, not their boldness, your willingness to meet it. You have spent so long being the one who wants precisely, who loves carefully, who offers only what has been measured and approved. You have never been reckless with your heart. You have never let yourself be wanted without first conducting a full background check on the wanting. But this person is not giving you time for the background check. They are not submitting an application. They are kicking down the door, and the door they are kicking down is the one you built to keep out exactly this kind of chaos. The chaos of being chosen without having to earn it. The chaos of being desired not for what you do, but for what you are. The chaos of someone looking at your unedited, unimproved, unorganized self and saying, that, I want that, exactly as it is. So what do? You let them come. You do not chase. You do not need to. The pursuit is theirs. The boldness is theirs. But you open the window. You leave the latch undone. You stop pretending you do not notice the way they look at you. You meet their stare in the elevator and you hold it for 1 second longer than necessary. You let your hand brush theirs when you take the coffee. You smile, not the polite smile, not the professional smile, but the smile that says, I know, I have always known. And then you let the silence do the rest. Because here is the secret. They are not the only one who has been starving. You have been hungry too. You have been hungry for someone who sees past your efficiency to your fire. You have been hungry for someone who is not intimidated by your standards but aroused by them. You have been hungry for a love that does not ask you to be smaller, quieter, easier. You have been hungry for boldness, and now it is walking toward you, wearing their face, carrying their heartbeat in their throat, ready to offer you everything they have. Take it, not because you need it to survive, but because you are done surviving. You are ready to burn. You are ready to be wanted out loud, in daylight, with witnesses. You are ready to be the reason someone loses their composure. You are ready to be the chaos. Let them get bold. Let them get reckless. Let them arrive at your door with no plan and no pride and nothing but the truth in their mouth. You already know you are going to let them in. So unlock the door. Put down the clipboard. Take off the glasses you do not need and answer the knock with a look that tells them they were never wrong about you. They were just early. And now, finally, the waiting is over. Let them come. The fire is already lit, and you, Virgo, have never been afraid of the heat.